Hello students, welcome to Shiv Jyoti Educational Group Kota. This is Barkha Gaur, your biology teacher. So I hope students, all of you are well at your places. Today we are going to start chapter 18, biology of class 11th, body, fluids and circulation. So students, have you wondered any time that how the substances in the body are moving from one place to another? मीन्स कि आपने कभी सोचा होगा कि किस तरह से हमारी बॉडी में सारे सब्सटेंसेस जैसे न्यूट्रिएंट्स, हार्मोन्स, वेस्ट, हाउ दीज सब्सटेंसेस आर ट्रांसपोर्टेड फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर, या कहाँ पे उनका फॉर्मेशन हो रहा है, वेयर दे आर फॉर्म्ड एंड वेयर दे आर यूज्ड, ऑल दीज थिंग्स, हाउ दे आर कंट्रोल्ड. So children, the answer is that we are able to do all these, we are able to transport all these substances with the help of a system which is known as transportation circulation of the substances. So all these functions of transportation, defense, communication, etc. are controlled by the system which is called as circulatory system. So now we will be studying about the components of circulatory system and its function in detail in this chapter. Children, we will start with the blood. The most important thing which help in the transportation of the substances is the blood. It is a fluid, we have studied already, it is a connective tissue which helps to transport substances. Now if we talk about the constituents or components of the blood, we see that blood liquid दिखता है हमें. So the liquid part of the blood is plasma and the cells are floating in it. ठीक है, तो blood constitutes two parts, plasma and formed elements. Formed elements और या फिर हम उनको cells कहते हैं या फिर corpuscles कहते हैं. So when we talk about the formed elements, there are three types of formed elements. There are three types of blood cells: erythrocytes, which are also known as RBC, red blood cells या red blood corpuscles, ल्यूकोसाइट्स दैट इज WBC एंड प्लेटलेट्स. ठीक है, तो प्लेटलेट्स को जैसे इरिथ्रोसाइट्स, ल्यूकोसाइट्स, थ्रोम्बोसाइट्स, प्लेटलेट्स आर आल्सो नोन एज थ्रोम्बोसाइट्स. नाउ लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड with the help of this animation. This is the section of blood vessel in which different components of blood are flowing. That means the blood cells are flowing in it. So blood cells, that is RBC, WBC and platelets, all will be. Now if we centrifuge the blood, तो क्या होगा? The blood will be separated into two parts, that is the liquid part which is known as plasma and the cellular components which are known as blood cells or corpuscles. तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, these are settled down. तो 55% is plasma and 45% are the formed elements. ठीक है, तो वी कैन सी नाउ वी विल सी द कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ प्लाज्मा. प्लाज्मा में क्या क्या चीज़ है? तो प्लाज्मा में भी 90% ऑफ द प्लाज्मा इज वाटर. देन इट कंटेन्स मिनरल्स, ग्लूकोज एंड हॉर्मोन्स ऑल्सो, एंड इट हैज सेल्युलर कंपोनेंट्स लाइक प्लेटलेट्स एंड ब्लड सेल्स. तो ये ऑल दीज आर प्रेजेंट इन ब्लड. प्लाज्मा कंटेन्स सम प्रोटीन्स ऑल्सो लाइक फाइब्रोनोजन विच इज ऑल्सो नोन एज सीरम. Now you can see कि how does the components of the blood are floating in the blood vessels, RBC, WBC and platelets, or are moving in the cells and they are able to flow with the help of plasma. Now we'll see about the different cells. जैसे RBC, ठीक है, तो significance of shape, इसका shape कैसा है बच्चों? It is biconcave and it has the biconcave shape. It helps, this shape helps in the exchange of gases. Now characteristics of RBC. Number of RBC, it is 4.5 to 5.5 million per milliliter of the blood, and they are formed in bone marrow. So most of the cells of the blood are formed in bone marrow of ribs, sternum and vertebrae. Lifespan इसका सबसे ज़्यादा है out of among the other blood cells, it is 120 days and its function is transportation of oxygen to the cell, जो कि hemoglobin की help से होता है. तो this is a hemoglobin molecule which can attach 4 oxygen atoms at a time. तो hemoglobin act as a carrier for RBC. The hemoglobin is also known as respiratory pigment. Now we talk about WBC, that is white blood cells. So you should remember the important characteristics of WBC also, that is it is colorless, it is white in color or it is colorless and its shape changes all the time, इसलिए हम इसको amoeboid कहते हैं, that so that it can squeeze हो सके आसानी से. They do not contain hemoglobin, that's why they are not red. Their number is quite less, 6,000 to 8,000 milliliter per millimeter of blood, and the ratio of RBC to WBC is nearly 1001. तो if RBC is 1000 तो WBC 1 होगा उस केस में. They are also known as leukocytes. Now they are of two kinds depending on their structure. Granular are again of three types: eosinophils, neutrophils and basophils. These are the three kinds of granulocytes. Now the characteristics of eosinophils देखें हम. You can see the shape. Now these granules can absorb acidic stain. It is the characteristic of it. They have bilobed nucleus. Their number is 100 to 400 per milliliter, and their lifespan is 3 to 5 days. Function सबसे important है. You should remember the function. It is given in your book also. They are responsible for allergic response. कभी हमें कोई एलर्जी होती है तो उसको ये कंट्रोल करते हैं. Second is neutrophils. ये देख सकते हैं आप, many lobes हैं इसमें. It is many lobed structure and it absorbs neutral stain. Their number is 3000 to 6000 per milliliter of blood, and their lifespan is 12 hours to 3 days. Their function, they are phagocytic. That means they kill the any antigen entering into our body. कोई भी foreign substance, bacteria वगैरह अगर enter होते हैं तो they kill them. Third is basophil. Third type of granulocyte is basophil. They absorb basic stains. That's why their name is basophils, and their nucleus is 2 to 3 lobed, or it is S-shaped, and their number vary from 25 to 200 per milliliter of blood. Their lifespan is quite less, 9 to 18 days, and their function is chemical mediators responsible for allergic responses. तो allergic responses को ये control करते हैं. तो ये तीन तरह के granulocytes थे. Now we'll study about agranular WBC. They are again of two types, monocytes and lymphocytes. तो ये दोनों मिलाकर हमारे immune system को control करते हैं. तो you should remember. First we'll see monocytes. They are kidney shaped. Their shape is like kidney, and their number varies from 100 to 700 in per milliliter of blood. Their function is they act as macrophages. Macrophages means they also help in killing the external pathogens. Second is lymphocytes. तो lymphocytes की जब हम बात करेंगे तो lymphocytes are controlling our immune system. जो हमारे B and T lymphocytes होते हैं, they are of two lymphocytes, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, and they control our immune system. हमारे immune system को strong बनाते हैं. Their nucleus is large and they help in killing the pathogens which are entering into our body. Their lifespan is about 100 to 200 days, and their function is production of antibodies. That means if any antigen enters तो वो antibody उसको kill करेगा. So this is the proportion of different cells. जो हमने अभी WBC की बात की, this is the proportion which is present in the blood. Now we'll study about the, अभी हमने RBC देखा, WBC देखा. Now we'll see about platelets, which are also known as thrombocytes. So thrombocytes or platelets, they are irregular in shape और ये fragments के form में present रहते हैं, and they are also known as megakaryocytes. They are present in bone marrow, that is they are formed in bone marrow, and their important function, the main function is clotting of blood. So they play a very important role in blood clotting. We'll study this clotting of blood in detail in our later section. Their number ranges from 50,000 to 5 lakh in humans. है ना, sometimes आपने सुना होगा कि in some diseases like dengue, platelets goes down. So it is also a very important component of the blood. Now there are various proteins present in our blood. जैसे अभी हमने बात किया था about the plasma. तो plasma of our blood contains three kinds of proteins: fibrinogens, globulins and albumins. Now fibrinogen का function important है, you should remember, involved in blood coagulation. Globulins are involved in defense mechanism. Blood coagulation and clotting is same thing. Defense mechanism means fighting against the germs, and albumin helps in osmotic balance, means salt and water का balance body में बनाने में ये help करते हैं. Some non-protein structures are also present. like glucose, amino acid, lipids. These are ions, sodium, calcium and magnesium, and these are the bicarbonate ion, and chloride ions are also present in blood, which are responsible for various function of the blood. Now we'll study about blood grouping. Blood grouping बच्चों अगर हम समझें तो blood grouping वैसे दो तरह के हम blood grouping समझेंगे, ABO blood grouping and RH factor. So let us start with this. लैंडस्टीनर ने इनको डिस्कवर किया था. ही डिस्कवर्ड अबाउट द 4 टाइप्स ऑफ ब्लड ग्रुप्स जो हम सुनते भी आ रहे हैं, ए, बी, AB एंड O. दीज आर द 4 टाइप्स ऑफ ब्लड ग्रुप्स. तो सिस्टम ऑफ ब्लड ग्रुप नेम्ड ABO ब्लड ग्रुपिंग सिस्टम है ना, ये ABO है इसलिए इसका नाम हमने ABO ब्लड ग्रुपिंग सिस्टम रखा है. तो ही ऑब्जर्व्ड 2 डिस्टिंक्ट केमिकल मॉलिक्यूल्स प्रेजेंट ऑन द सरफेस ऑफ RBC. तो 2 चीजें हैं बच्चों, RBC एंड प्लाज्मा. तो RBC पे उन्होंने ही ऑब्जर्व 2 मॉलिक्यूल्स, ठीक है, एंड ही कॉल्ड देम द वन मॉलिक्यूल A एंड द अदर मॉलिक्यूल B. So let us understand by this animation blood group system. You must have heard कि we cannot transfer blood of any person to any person. ठीक है, किसी का भी blood हम किसी में नहीं चढ़ा सकते हैं. We should first check the blood group and we also have to check whether it is positive or negative. So while transfusing the blood या transferring the blood from one person to another, we should be very familiar with the blood group system. तो ऐसे तो 33 blood group system है, but we generally talk about जो common है वो ABO and RH factor है. तो now we'll start with the ABO blood grouping system. As you know children, the blood groups, as I told you, RBC और plasma में, ठीक है, there are antigens and antibodies are present. तो when we talk about this is the RBC, RBC में एंटीजन A and एंटीजन B present हो सकता है, ठीक है. Now how do we get 4 different blood groups? कैसे हमें मिलेंगे? तो A, B, AB and O. Let's understand by this the different combination of antibodies and antigens. ये चेक करना जरूरी है before transfusing the blood. So suppose किसी के blood में एंटीजन A present है, ठीक है, that is his blood group is A, तो उसके बॉडी में एंटीबॉडी B की प्रेजेंट होगी, ठीक है. इफ ब्लड ग्रुप B इज देयर तो एंटीजन B प्रेजेंट होगा और एंटीबॉडी विल बी A. क्लियर? तो ये अपोजिट होगा. इट मीन्स इट विल नॉट अलाउ अनदर ब्लड टू एंटर इनटू इट. नाउ ब्लड ग्रुप अगर AB होगा तो एंटीजन A और एंटीजन B दोनों प्रेजेंट है RBC पे. So on the basis of this there are 4 kinds of blood groups. AB is the universal recipient, means it can take blood from any of the blood group and it does not have any antibody, so it can accept blood of any blood group. ठीक है, किसी के भी blood group, किसी भी person का blood उसको दिया जा सकता है. That's why it is called as universal recipient. तो universal ये recipient है and in the other case no antigen A and no antigen B दोनों ही present अगर नहीं है, that means it has antibody A and antibody B, दोनों के लिए antibody present है, तो that group is called blood group O and it is universal donor. It can donate its blood to any of the blood group but it cannot accept blood from सिर्फ O के blood को वो accept कर सकता है, not other. ठीक है, that's why it is called universal donor. तो थोड़ा रेयर हो जाता है ये. इट कैन एक्सेप्ट ओनली ब्लड फ्रॉम ब्लड ग्रुप O. तो दे कैन रिसीव ब्लड ओनली फ्रॉम द पीपल विद ब्लड ग्रुप O. नाउ विल टॉक अबाउट RH. RH फैक्टर इट वाज फर्स्ट ऑब्जर्व्ड इन मंकीज. मंकीज में ये देखा गया था, तो रेसिस टाइप ऑफ मंकीज है ये, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज RH ग्रुप. नाउ विल स्टडी अबाउट इट इन डिटेल. RH ब्लड ग्रुप सिस्टम. This is the RBC, it has RH antigen. If it has RH antigen तो it will be called as RH positive. ठीक है, RH antigen अगर किसी के blood group में present है तो it will be called as RH positive. And if RH is not present, rhesus group नहीं present है तो it will be called as RH negative. ठीक है, तो most of the person have this RH factor, that's why they are called RH positive. तो RH पॉजिटिव का ब्लड भी हम RH नेगेटिव पर्सन को डोनेट नहीं कर सकते हैं. तो इट इज ऑल्सो एडवाइज्ड कि वी शुड चेक 2 थिंग्स, ब्लड ग्रुप भी और RH फैक्टर को भी चेक किया जाता है. तो पॉजिटिव पर्सन पॉजिटिव को डोनेट कर सकता है ब्लड एंड नेगेटिव कैन बी डोनेटेड टू नेगेटिव पर्सन। नाउ कंपैटिबिलिटी हमने देखी, जैसे कि इफ रेसिपिएंट ब्लड ग्रुप इज O, डोनर कैन बी O, मतलब लेने वाला अगर O है तो डोनर O ही होगा। इफ रेसिपिएंट ब्लड ग्रुप इज A, डोनर कैन बी A ऑल्सो, दैट मीन्स इफ समबडी हैज ब्लड ग्रुप A तो वो O से भी ले सकता है और A से भी ले सकता है। Similarly, if recipient blood group is B, it can take blood from B blood group also and O blood group also. तो O यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं, it can give to all. If recipient blood group is AB, then again it can take blood group from O blood group, A, B और AB. तो ये सबसे ले सकता है, it can take blood from all blood group people. That's why it is called universal recipient. Now we'll see blood group compatibility a little bit more. There is a disease or there is a phenomena which is related to RH factor, ठीक है, एक abnormality है और a complication is produced due to this, so which is known as erythroblastosis fetalis. What is this? Let us understand. It is a condition in which RH antibodies of the mother's blood start destroying the red blood cells of the fetus. जैसे अभी हमने बताया, I told you कि RH पॉजिटिव ब्लड ग्रुप वाला पर्सन कैन नॉट डोनेट ब्लड टू RH नेगेटिव, ऐसे ही वाइस वर्सा, नेगेटिव वाला पॉजिटिव को नहीं दे सकता है, पॉजिटिव वाला नेगेटिव को नहीं दे सकता है। अब नहीं दे सकता है का इसका क्या मतलब है बच्चों, कि इफ different blood is transfused in a person, तो blood coagulate हो जाता है, ठीक है, coagulate होगा तो वो जम जाएगा। if it is clotted in the body, तो the circulation of the blood will be stopped and the functioning of body will be disturbed. So that's why we say there is a complication in this which is known as erythroblastosis fetalis, means in which RH antibodies of the mother's blood start destroying the RBC of the fetus. Fetus is the developing child in the mother's body. When a mother with RH negative blood group has a RH positive fetus, समझ रहे हैं बात को, सपोज मदर तो RH नेगेटिव है और उसका फीटस इज RH पॉजिटिव, तो मदर स्टार्ट्स मेकिंग RH एंटीबॉडीज अगेन RH एंटीजेंस ऑफ द फीटस, तो वो फीटस के एंटीजेंस के अगेंस्ट एंटीबॉडीज बनने लग जाती हैं उनकी बॉडी में। इट कैन बी अवॉइडेड बाय एडमिनिस्ट्रिंग, ये एक तरीका बताया है, इट इज अ मेडिकल टेक्निक, एंटी RH एंटीबॉडीज आर गिवन टू द मदर सो दैट एंटीबॉडीज आर नॉट फॉर्म्ड। तो ये कॉम्प्लिकेशन है जिसको अभी हम और डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे with the help of this animation. Suppose a RH negative mother marries, sorry, RH negative female marries a RH positive person, then and the child is RH positive, so a complication may arise, but during its first pregnancy there will be no problem because the blood of the child and the mother is well separated by placenta, ठीक है ना, placenta से ये separated है, अभी कोई complication present नहीं होगा, लेकिन at the time of birth थोड़ा सा blood from the fetus it is transported into the mother's body, तो थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे blood का exchange हो जाता है and at that time antibodies are formed in the mother's body. तो जब second pregnancy होगी तो as already antibodies are there in the mother's body, तो वो antibodies क्या करती हैं second pregnancy के time उनका जो second child है उसकी body में जाएंगी and the antibodies will destroy the RBC of the developing second child, ठीक है। तो this is known as what? Erythroblastosis fetalis, ठीक है, it is given in your book in page number 281. So this is how RH grouping is also important to know about it. Now we'll see blood coagulation, ठीक है, coagulation of blood is what? Clotting of blood. क्लॉटिंग ऑफ ब्लड कब होगी? सपोज आपने देखा होगा इफ द ब्लड इज कमिंग आउट ऑफ द बॉडी, कोई इंजरी हो जाती है, ब्लड तो क्या होता है धीरे धीरे वो जम जाता है, सूख जाता है, तो दिस इज क्लॉटिंग। बट इफ इनसाइड द बॉडी ब्लड इज क्लॉटेड तो इट विल प्रिवेंट टू फ्लो इट, वो उसको फ्लो नहीं होने देगा, बीच में रास्ता ब्लॉक हो जाएगा, तो इट इज वेरी हार्मफुल। नाउ विल सी, बट व्हेन इंजरी इज देयर, जब इंजरी होती है तब ब्लड क्लॉट होना जरूरी है, otherwise what will happen? If blood will not clot, then the blood will keep on coming out of the body and the whole body will get emptied or the person will die. तो क्लॉटिंग ऑफ ब्लड इज नेसेसरी व्हेन इंजरी इज देयर। तो हाउ दिस प्रोसेस टेक्स प्लेस ये हम इससे समझ लेते हैं इस फ्लो चार्ट से। Now there are two types of factors responsible of this coagulation of blood, extrinsic pathway and intrinsic pathway. Extrinsic pathway को हम पहले समझते हैं, that is damage to tissue outside the vessel. जब हमको कट लग जाता है या there is an injury तो blood vessels की जो tissues हैं वो destroy हो जाते हैं, damage हो जाते हैं, but वहाँ पे tissue thromboplastin, ठीक है, it is present there and it helps in the conversion of prothrombin which is the inactive protein and it converts into thrombin. So in the presence of thromboplastin and with the help of the other factors जैसे inactive factor 10 है और activated factor 10, these factors along with the thromboplastin and यहाँ पे अगर हम intrinsic को भी include कर लें, damage to the vessel of blood vessel, damage to the blood vessel and cascade of clotting factor, तो ये all they include and they combine and they help in conversion of prothrombin protein into thrombin. तो ये active protein में convert हो जाएगा which itself is necessary for conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin. तो जब ये thrombin की presence में fibrinogen ये again inactive form में present होता है and it gets it converted into fibrin which is the active protein. यहाँ पे क्या होगा, अब fibrin की help से the blood will be clotted. Blood वहाँ पे एक अपना थक्का बना लेगा, the clot will be formed and the bleeding will stop. So these are the different factors and this is the process of blood coagulation, है ना? Go through it properly, you will be able to understand. We can see here also. You can see the blood is flowing and there is an injury. यहाँ पे क्या है, ये फाइब्रिन जो का फॉर्मेशन हुआ है, इट इज गेटिंग कलेक्टेड एंड स्लोली इट विल मेक अ क्लॉट विद द हेल्प ऑफ अदर फैक्टर्स. तो यहाँ पे क्लॉट बन जाएगा एंड स्लोली द ब्लड विल स्टॉप, दैट मीन्स इट विल स्टॉप फ्लोइंग आउटसाइड द बॉडी. सी यू कैन सी द क्लॉट इज फॉर्म्ड. और आपने देखा होगा जब थोड़ा सा हमारा जो इंजरी है वो ड्राई हो जाती है तो एक स्टिचेस टाइप के फॉर्म हो जाते हैं वहाँ पे. दैट मीन्स द ब्लड जो वेसल्स होती हैं और फाइब्रिन मिलकर वहाँ पे एक कवर का बना लेते हैं विच इज ब्राउनिश इन कलर. ओके, नाउ as we have understood about the blood, we will also understand about the lymph, which is a very short topic. So lymph is also equally important as the blood, but the difference is lymph is colorless and it flows with great pressure in arteries. तो ये जब blood capillaries में से flow हो रहा होता है तो small pores are there in the capillaries through which the proteins and white blood cells of the blood ooze out. थोड़े से उन blood capillaries में से वो थोड़े बाहर आ जाते हैं and come into interstitial spaces along the tissue. तो among the tissue that forms the lymph. पर उसका important function भी है कुछ. Fluid passes into another set of vessels. So they are stored. Lymph is stored in lymphatic vessels and forms lymph nodes. Nodes भी बनाते हैं. So it is very important for our lymphatic system. That means they regulate our immune system. Primary lymphoid organs है bone marrow and thymus जहाँ पे formation होगा इनका. And secondary lymphoid organs are spleen, tonsils and lymph nodes. So all these organs help to make our immune system strong.